Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so now I'm going to share with you how you can analyze the data using the Microsoft Excel for finding the chi-value, chi-square. You want to do the chi-square statistic, correct? So the first one, you need to understand about the data lah. So this is our data. So now we are going to clean our data. So how you want to clean? You clean the data by removing or relocating your extreme values data. For example, this one, I'm just going to delete lah the data because the data is so huge, more than 80 responded, and therefore I'm going to just delete the data. So I already delete all the data. Okay, the data is already being deleted. So this is my complete data lah. We got this one is what? Age, race, religion, gender, status, and also the symptom and so on. Okay, now, for example, I'm going to explain and I'm going to analyze the status of the data with the exposure status. For example, exposure status of the eye orange. Okay, how to do that is very simple. We are going into the insert. Go to your pivot table. Okay, go to insert, go to pivot table. And then highlight, click the OK button. Dia akan keluar macam ni lah. Dah keluar dah. Okay, I make a repetition. Okay, I make a repetition again. So the first one, make sure you go into the A1. A1 means that row 1, column A. And then go to the insert, go to the pivot table. Why we are using the pivot table? Because we want to tabulate our data. Why? Tabulation of data. Click the pivot table, automatically it will highlight everything for you. It will highlight everything for you. And then you click the OK button. Automatically the pivot table name sheet 2 are going to be emerged, are going to be presented to you. So now I'm going to analyze the data for the status. You pick the status here and then put inside the row. And then you pick another one will be the orange drinking, this one, orange beverages, and then put inside the row also. So we got here cases, yes and no, and then we got the control, yes and no. Yes and no for the status of drinking or not drinking the eye orange, okay? And then you are going to insert the eye orange inside the value. And then we got this one lah, count of jenis air minum being tabulated according to the specific rows and column. Okay, so now we are going to begin with our analysis. So the first rule of thumb is actually we got the observed value, correct or not? This is our observed values. Okay, this is our observed. So inside here observed, we got also two kind of things. The first one is exposed, and then the next one is non-exposed. Okay, can you follow? Okay, please do it, whatever I'm doing also. I'm going to do it slowly. And then for your column, make sure you address it as case and control. The arrangement must be good, okay? Make sure the exposed and non-exposed, cases and control. In the SPSS or in any statistical software, you need to derive this thing by relocating and reinserting a correct number. Kalau you kata expose ini adalah 1, then you punya case pun mesti 1. Kalau you punya non-expose is 0, then your control must be also in 0. And vice versa. Okay, in this case, I'm going to arrange it like this lah. So we are going to insert the data. How you want to insert the data is very easy. You find out using the pivot table here. So we are going to look into the case first. This one is the case column, right? So this is our case, and then this is the number of the case. So whoever is the case, which is exposed. So case, this one is no. Non-exposed is 21. Exposed is 38, correct? Sorry. It's okay. The exposed is 38, and then non-exposed is 21. For the control, the exposed is 16, and then the non-exposed will be the 21. So this is our data. Okay? You got it? Okay, the next one, the challenge of us now, we want to know about the expected. As you know, the expected must be derived using following alphabet, correct? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, total. Okay, understand? And then you proceed with your expected. You may not want to put this one lah. I'm just going to give you lah the example. Okay, expected, go to the exposed, and then go to the non-exposed, and then you go into the case, and then you go to the control. Okay, this one you type case, and then this one is control. Okay, did you follow? Now, it's the time for us to calculate the expected count. But before you can calculate the expected count, of course, you need to know their pandai, total. So you go into the formula, make sure your cursor are being inserted accordingly down here, and then go into the auto sum, and then sum it up. You can just hit the enter button, and then you can just drag the data. You can just drag the data, and then it will calculate it for you. Same also goes to the column, goes to the row. You highlight here, and then you go to the auto sum, and then hit the enter button, and then you drag accordingly. You must make sure that the numbers is the same. Same or not? That means our data is correct. Okay? So far so good? So now we want to know how we want to compute or calculate the expected count using the chi-square formula. So the chi-square formula expected count for A are being derived as follows. For A, G times by E divided by the total. So if you want to find the C, you need to G times by the F, and then you divide by the total. So that is the formula. So we are going to teach the computer about the formula so that we know the expected count automatically. So how to do that is very simple. You just hit the equal button. After that, you pick up the G. This one is your G value, right? 59. And then you ask the computer to times. Times means that you push the star button with the E. E, our value will be 54. And then we need to divide. Divide by what? Total. So you just click the total there. Finish. Hit the enter button. You push the enter button, automatically the expected count for the A is being calculated for you. You got it? Okay, I made a repetition. It's very simple. The first one, you hit the equal button, and then you go to the 59 here, and then you times. Times means that you push the star button with the 54, and then you divide by the total. Finish. So what about the non-exposed? So the non-exposed also is the same. Equal 59 times by 42 divided by 96. Don't type the values, but pick up the data. Okay, pick up the data. So after you finish all this thing, if you want to follow my procedure, it's very simple. If I were you, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag this one. Okay, I made a repetition. I'm just going to drag. You see this one? The cursor is being changed. And then I'm going to drag. After I dragging it, it become error. Never mind. I double click. Oh, the computer cannot detect the values over there. And therefore, I'm going to rearrange. You know rearrange? Bawakan semula. And then I hit the enter button. Automatically, it will give it to you. Same also goes to this. You can just drag it and then it's become error. No worries. Because you can arrange it accordingly. And then you hit the enter button. Automatically, it will going to sum up for you. And then after you finish all this step, don't forget to sum. You sum lah. You sum it up. You got 59, same as above. And then also you sum this one up. You got everything here. And then you must make sure that the sum will be sufficient. Same, 96 and 96. After that is finished. Okay, so far so good. We are going to calculate the chi value. So there are two ways to calculate the chi value. The first one you calculate manually. Observe, expected, correct? Observe minus expected, correct? Observe minus expected, and then kuasakan 2. After that, observe minus expected, the power of 2, you divide by the expected. So let us do these two type of mechanism. So I'm just going to hide this column. I'm just going to hide this one, to make sure that you understand and see lah whatever it is. Okay, the first one is A, B, C, D. Make sure you familiar lah. A tu kat mana, B tu kat mana kan. Okay, I'm just going to put the color so that you know what is the location. So A will be here, correct? Okay, B will be here. Okay, I'm just going to put the color here. And then C will be here. I'm just going to put the color here. This color does not represent anything, okay? Why you choose the blue color, sir? No, that doesn't mean anything, okay? So, oh, sorry. A, B, C, D. Thank you for your cooperation. Okay, the next one, we are going to put the value one by one. 38. After that, sorry, 16, 21, and 21. So for the expected values, I'm not going to type it. Why? Because I'm afraid I'm going to do a mistake. Then therefore, I'm just going to put the equal sign, and I'm just going to call the data to be represented here. That is the easier one. Because this is a computer, the computer must do the work for us. Otherwise, you don't use the computer lah, you calculate manually. After that, we finish the calculation lah. Okay, this one is equal also. Anything that you want the computer do it for you, you must specify as equal. Equal observe minus expected. And then you just going to do it once, and then you drag it accordingly. You drag. You know drag? Drag. And then after that, you are going to finish up this thing. Is equal also. Is equal this one times by this one, correct? Because it's power of 2. And then enter, and then drag also. And then the last one but not least is actually you do it, this observe minus expected, the power of 2 divided by the expected. And then you just going to spell it out as equal, this one, divide by the expected. Correct or not? Enter, and then you can just drag it down. Automatically the computer going to compute for you. And don't forget to do what? To do the sum. Very good, very good, very good. You just sum it up like this. And automatically the computer going to give you the value of 4.13865. So 4.13 is actually is beyond or more, refer back to your degree of freedom and also your alpha. So in this case, our degree of freedom will be 1. Why? Because 2 minus 1 is 1 times by the 2 minus 1 also is 1. So our DF is actually is 1 and our alpha is what? 0.05. So if you looking into the chi-square table, they are going to specify as the area under curve will be 3.8415, correct? So this value is actually 3.8, and then our calculated values are more than this predicted value, and therefore we are going to reject or fail to reject? Yes. Very good. So therefore we are going to reject our null hypothesis. Correct? So that is the first approach. Now is the fastest approach. How to do that? How to do the fastest one? Is very simple. You are going to specify any column and rows. For example, in this area, chi-square, any space that have lah, any empty space, you can just write that. And then you push the equal button. And then you type chi. You type chi. You go into the chi SQ comma test. Okay, I make a repetition. Is equal chi value chi SQ comma test, and then you hit the enter button. It's going to ask you the name. Sorry. Chi SQ test. Don't enter. Click. After you click, it will become like this. It become like this already? Okay, I make a repetition. Go into any blank area and then go to the specific row and column. Push the equal sign. and after that type chi. After you type chi, please choose the chi SQ, test, and then click using your mouse. After you click, it will become like this. Okay, after it's become like this, then what you need to do is actually, you need to highlight your actual range. Actual range means that observed value. Observed value. So we are going to highlight our observed value. You highlight it already? Please highlight. After you highlight, and then you can see here, it specifies for dot, comma. And then I'm going to hit the dot, comma sign. Dot, comma. There are some computers specified as comma only, up to your computer and versions of the Excel. In my version, dot, comma. After I enter the dot, comma, I'm going to highlight the expected range. So expected range will be this one lah kan? I highlight also, same like above. And then I'm going to close the bracket. After I closing the bracket, I'm ready to hit the enter button. Are you ready? Then I hitting the enter button, automatically the P value of the chi, it's already being computed for you. Okay, I make a repetition. The first one, you go into the equal sign. After that, you type CHI. You please choose the chi SQ, test. After that, the computer asks you to highlight the actual range. Actual range means that observe. So you highlight the observed value. This is all our observed value. After that, hit the comma or dot, comma. It's all up to your computer. If your computer wants comma lah. My computer want dot, comma. If you hit the enter, it become error. Try to change to the dot, comma. After that, you need to highlight the expected range. So this is my expected range. I'm going to highlight it also. And then don't forget to close the bracket. If you don't close the bracket, it become error also. After you close the bracket, don't forget to enter the enter button. If you don't hit the enter button, it will not compute for you. After you hitting it, it will emerge like this. This is what? P. Very good. So our statistical value will be 4.13 and then our P value will be 0.04, which is less than alpha. Our alpha is 0.05 and therefore you need to sing that song because we are using computer, right? Our song will be what? Less than reject, more than fail to reject. So you must reject your null hypothesis. And therefore, after you reject your null, you are going to make a conclusion based on your alternative. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, can you follow that one? Very good.